All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is actually your power start. So what we're going to talk about today is truly understanding the systematic process on how to effectively run a business. Now, I want you all, as we dive into this call, to truly understand that you are an actual billionaire. All right. I want you to understand that success is already yours and you're a billionaire. The what to do is going to be the easiest part. The what to do is going to be the easiest part, but it is literally going to be you that is going to launch you into success. That's actually what's going to take place. It requires you. And so when we begin this conversation and we began tapping into what's required in order for us to have the success that we desire, I want you all to really, really just think about the fact of who you are. I want you to think about, a mental mindset picture of what wealth looks like to you. And I know that for each and every last one of us, that we will often want to operate or think about wealth, and it means something. Success means something different to all of us. What does that mean to you right now? What does that say? And so, and know that you can be very interactive in the chat, drop it in the chat. But what does success look like to you in this moment? What does success look like for you when you truly and really think about it? What does success look like? Because the reality is we're all here for a reason, and each one of those are different. They're very distinctive. But the reality is this is a vehicle of success. This is a vehicle of success. This is a vehicle to take you where you want to go. That's what this is all about. And that's what this conversation is. And so I just kind of want to make sure you have pen and paper readily available. We're going to dive into some things today, and we're going to talk about the mindset. We're going to tap into your verbal tools, and then we're also going to talk about what's required. We're going to talk about you from that perspective of the actions that you need to take. But I'm going to ask you a question about your belief set. Are you a billionaire? And I want you to drop that in the chat. Are you a billionaire? Let me know if you are a billionaire. And I am a billionaire, or I would, what are you? Are you a billionaire? So I have some yeses. I have some yeses. Yes, I am a billionaire. I am a billionaire. I am a billionaire. And I see it. And now everything is coming in the chat. So understand that that's the mindset. And there are more of you all on this call than it is in the chat. And so I want you to truly understand what that looks like and what that means. Because I am a billionaire means that you have to believe it. And notice I didn't say millionaire, because to many people, a thousandaire is obtainable. A millionaire is something that they can strive for. But a billionaire is something in a mindset shift and a mindset development. And I really want you to understand the magnitude. And you notice that I did not say I will be. I did not say it's coming, because I want you to understand the reality. Tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow is never here. Because what day are we always striving for? What are we always looking forward to, but we never achieve it? And that's tomorrow. Because today, the moment we're in right now, at one point it was yesterday. At one point, not yesterday, at one point we referred to it, when we were in yesterday, we referred to it as tomorrow. But now it's not tomorrow. Tomorrow is tomorrow. So when you say I will be, when you say it's coming, you are actually manifesting something that will never transpire. So you have to understand that you have to live in the now. You have to live in the today. You have to live in the understanding that you are worthy, and that you understand that in order to see it, you must see it before you actually see it. And I'm going to say that one more time. In order to see it manifest, you have to see it mentally. All right. So you have to see it before you ever see it. You must see it before it will ever take place. And that's where we are. And that's why we start with your mindset. And so if you believe that you are a billionaire, The reality is now we must tap into those mindset principles, because the what to do, and that's where many of us focus, the what to do is really only about 5% of your action, about 5% of your success. The majority of your success is housed inside of you and what you personally believe, how you personally feel, you know, what you personally are thinking about. That is really where your success lies, and it is already inside of you. And so what I want to be able to do is really kind of tap into and help you all understand that the mindset principles, your mindset, your beliefs is ultimately what's going to generate and create the success that you desire. So let's think about that for a moment. We're going to break this call down in phases. And the first phase is your mindset principles. Yes, I said your mindset principles, because your mindset principles is what moves you to action. Your mindset principles is where your success lies. And so when you think about those mindset principles and you think about what they truly mean and what they are, that actually starts with 5 different things. 1 is a compelling why. 2 is a burning desire. 3 is a commitment. 4 is being coachable. And 5 is your belief, okay? 5 is your belief. Now, I'm going to tell you that you must have all 5. So where does it start? It starts with you. What is your compelling why, right? What is your compelling why? And I want you to think about that. And I really want you to close your eyes for just a moment, right? I want you to close your eyes. Don't, if you're laying down, sit up, sit up, sit up. Because I want you to close your eyes and I want you to envision what you desire. Now, remember, we're all here for different reasons. I don't know what success looks like for you, but I know you deserve it. So what does success look like for you? I need you to see that right now, right? I need you to truly understand what that looks like. What do you envision for your life, for yourself? Because we're not here. Nobody came here to say, oh, I want to be a trader. But what we do know is that the vehicle, right? When we get up and go to those jobs each and every single day, when you go to work, now, some of us are still working. Some of us, thank God, are not. But when you get up, because that was my life, there was a vehicle that it took to get me there. And there is vehicles, everyone had a vehicle that brought them to the same location and destination, which are in that position, in that mindset, and where I was in that life was my job. So you are already operating in these principles, because we all get up and go to work, or we all have experienced that in some nature, or whether it's the grocery store, regardless of whether you're going to school, regardless of what it is, you get there because that is the desired destination that you want to obtain. That is the desired destination, but it's a vehicle that is required to take you where you want to go. So BYOB is the vehicle that is going to get you to where your success lies. So what is your success? What does that look like? That is your compelling why. Now that compelling why, it must make you cry. We hear it, oh yeah. And so I want you to get so very specific. So one of the things we just launched is the real estate education platform. And so I really want you to understand what that means and what that looks like. So I'm gonna use that as an example. I'm gonna use that because, and if you ever bought a house or bought something, then what we do is we know exactly what we want in that house. I know that I want a 4 or 5 bedroom house. I know that I need at least a minimum of 3 bathrooms. I need a 2-car, 3-car garage. Don't show me a detached garage or with 1 garage. Don't show that to me. I want to make sure that I want some hardwood floors, so there are very specifics. And I'm quite sure that you all see the granite countertops. I'm quite sure that those are the things that you see. Am I correct? Are you with me? Can you see the house that you desire? Can you see it? Can you see the house? Can you see what it looks like? Can you see where your room is? I want my room downstairs. I don't want to be by the children. I don't want to be in the same part of the house with them. Maybe when they were babies, but we're past that point now. So, so where is it? Can you see it? Right? Can you see it? I know it's on water, right? So yes, and I've always lived by the water. So I definitely understand. Every house, no matter where I've stayed, it's been a lake, it's been some sort of body of water, whether it was a man-made lake or no matter what it is, it's been there. So what do you see? What do you see? What is it you see? Now, that is what you have to see your success in just that much detail. And I use that because if you guys don't know, I actually have an active real estate license. I don't practice anymore as far as walking out showing houses, but the reality is I have that as well. And so understanding that, you know, I've worked with people and they know what they want, regardless of the budget. Do you hear me? Regardless of the budget. How many of you all have wanted something, a car, a house or something, and don't care about the budget? Then you have the realtor that's telling you, I need a pre-approval letter. We're going to look at things within this price range. So I need you to operate in your why. I need you to operate in your passion. I need you to operate regardless of the budget, regardless of what you currently see. I need you to envision what it is that you desire. And that's ultimately what's going to take you where you need to go. So how many of you all now can see it? How many of you all now know and can see exactly what you desire? Now you know in detail. I need you to have details. I need you to understand exactly what it is that you desire. Now, you have a compelling why. And I need you to write that out. I need you to put that vision on paper. I need you to write that out. Write it out and send it, BYOB for life movement at gmail.com. But I need you to write it out. The reason you write it out is for you. If you have not written that out, I need you to write it out, because that is what you have to hold on to. How many times have you printed pictures of houses? How many times have we, you know, we're sending things to, oh, I like this car, I like this house, I like this, right? That's where I need your why. That's where I need what you desire, regardless of the budget. And then number 2 is your burning desire, the burning desire. Now, this is where, right? This is ultimately, he said, every day almost. So this is where you are so important, because everybody wants something. A compelling why is not hard to write. It's not hard to get in our minds. The compelling why is not difficult, but it's the burning desire that is. And so it's not difficult, honestly, but it's your burning desire that we make difficult. Let me say it like that, because you are going to have obstacles. I want to be very clear. Life is going to give you obstacles. There are going to be things that come in our way. So my question to you is, are you going to happen to life, or is life going to happen to you? Because you have to want your desire. You have to want that why as bad as you can breathe. You have to want it more than you can breathe. You see, you have to want it just that significantly. So what do I mean by that? That's your fuel. That's that internal combustion that you have to have. That's what gets you up. How many of you all, so I can help you understand burning desire, let's go back to work. Not for real. We're not going to do it really, but let's go back to work. How many of you all have gone to work when you didn't even feel like it? And this morning I referenced the military. We had to go to work for them to tell me we were sick enough to stay home. You understand what I mean? So there was no calling in sick. We had to go to work. We had to show up to work in order for them to tell us that we were sick enough to go back home. So yes, so I want you to truly understand that there is something that got you up. What got you up? What makes you get up and go to work? You know, what makes you get up and show up? Well, guess what? It's a burning desire. Because you know, if you don't show up, you won't have that job, then you won't have a roof over your head and those bills don't get paid. So there has to be something where you attach to yourself and a much greater desire. So that's that burning desire. That's that internal combustion that you must have. Number 3 is your commitment, your personal commitment. Now, we often commit to jobs, ministries. We commit to so many things. We commit to our children, their activities, their sports. We commit to quite a bit. But when is the last time you committed to yourself? You know, your commitment is a non-negotiable. And let's really put that in perspective, because a commitment You know, just think about it. How can you help someone else if you haven't helped yourself? And see, we say in life, how you do one thing is how you should do everything. And what has been proven very effective is if I was to get on a plane, if I was to fly, and they tell you, if the oxygen mask was to drop, that you need to put the mask on yourself before you attempt to help someone else, correct? That's what they often tell us. That's what they say to us, that we have to put that oxygen mask on ourselves. And then I can help someone. I want you to understand that that's what your success is as well. Your success is doing the same thing. Your success is putting that oxygen mask on you, and then ultimately you can then assist others. Because if I'm not whole, if I run out of oxygen, if I run out and I'm not able to breathe, how can I help anyone else? And it's the same thing. What happens when you run out of money? What happens when the resources run low? What happens? Are you going to be able to help your children? Are you going to be able to help your community? Are you going to be able to help your ministries? Who are you going to be able to help? So it's okay for you to put you first. It's okay for you to truly understand that you have to put yourself in that position. And then also, number 4 is being coachable. Now, let me be clear. There is a huge difference in being coachable and teachable. Being teachable means that I'm going to memorize some steps because, right, what do? We teach at school and then we memorize some things to take a test. Well, just like the strategy. Many of you all understand blue line cross over the red. Many of you all understand those things, you know, flat top, flat bottom. But now we're talking about the ability to be able to apply it. I can teach you many things. You guys can verbally tell me the steps that you're going to walk somebody through the process. That's the teachable aspect of it. But the coachability part is always doing it. The coachability part is beginning to understand the psychology behind it. The coachability part is you just making it happen and you just doing it. So you might not understand exactly how it works up front, but trust me, there's a reason, there's a method to the madness. There is a reason why. And when we have individuals, we have a 21-day game plan in place. And when we have individuals that obtain that and achieve that, when they're coachable, guess what? That's all you need to get attached to. That's what you need to be able to understand and walk through. And then number 5 is your belief. What do you believe to be true? Because trust me, belief doesn't sound that difficult. Belief doesn't sound that hard. But 1 ounce of doubt and it will kill everything, because if you don't believe, that belief lights that internal combustion, that lights that burning desire. That belief, it lights the fire to your commitment. And if you show up and if you do what's required, the belief, it hits on your coachability. Are you willing to do what we say? Because yeah, you haven't walked in this area and understand. And you have coaches everywhere. You have a coach at basketball. You have a coach for football. Yay, football season is starting, right? You have a coach in every aspect of your life. There is a coach somewhere. But see, being a coach, many people refer to themselves as a coach. But you want to be coached and mentored by someone having that desired outcome and success that you're looking for. So understand, every coach has a coach and every mentor has a mentor. And you heard me reference Mr. Rogers as my coach and my mentor. He'll reference a coach and a mentor. So you are never in a position where you're not in position to be coached. And so all of these things are so very important. But their why is important because it can't be generic, because that's what's going to give you that belief. So out of all of these things that I just mentioned, your compelling why, your burning desire, your commitment, being coachable, and your belief, how many do you all have? How many? Drop it in the chat. How many do you all have out of those? I see you. I'm waiting. I know it's a delay. So drop it in. How many do you have? All right, there we go. So you say all 5. Well, all 5, you see your mental, your mindset, the mindset is really what's going to walk you to success. It's your mindset. And so that is why we spend the most time talking about your mindset. We spend more time talking about mindset principles than we do talking about the what to do and the action steps required for success. Because it's the mindset that walks you to it. and walks you through it. Then the second part of this is now your verbal tools. So I want you to understand that your verbal tools, your personal verbal tools, is what's ultimately going to create the results that you desire. Yes, your verbal tools. Because understand that your mouth was designed for you to generate wealth. I want you to grasp that, okay? Your mouth was designed to generate wealth. Your mouth. So what does that mean? That communication is the key to moving people to action. Communication is the key to moving people to action. So you're going to think it, you're going to speak it, and then you're going to perform it. So what are those verbal tools? And understand that first and foremost, in our conversations, when we're speaking, we must relate to people. That's what we have to do. We have to relate. We must relate to people. And when we relate to people, I want you to understand that I'm here to share some information with you, but I'm not here to be sympathetic. I can be empathetic, but not sympathetic. So, and I want you to understand the reality behind that, because sympathy allows you to operate in excuses. Sympathy allows you to get in a position to where you live the excuse with them. Empathy, I understand some things, but I am not sympathetic. Your job does not care how you feel. Your job does not care if you feel like showing up to work today. Your job does not care that you have a parent-teacher conference. Your job does not care that there was traffic on the interstate. Your job does not care that you just got a bill in the mail that you didn't expect. Your job doesn't care that you now have some additional medical expenses that you still need to show up to work. And they're not giving you a raise based on it. So that's what I mean about I'm not sympathetic, because all of those things we're still going to experience. We're going to experience that. So when I relate to someone in my conversation, everyone, you hear me talk about time, job, or money. Everyone is strapped in this area somewhere if they're not already living life on their terms. We'll often reference being broke, but people would think that means financially, or we're strapped, and people think that often means financially. But people need time, they need a job, or they need money. Everyone you can relate to in that manner. So just think about it. If I have a lot of time, that typically means that I don't have any money, I don't have a job. If you have someone has a lot of time on their hands. So you're never going to have a conversation with someone that because what is one of the objections that people, the time. Guess what? How long is that going to be your problem? Because you're never going to run into someone that just has a lot of time, because if that person has a great time availability, then they typically don't have a job or they don't have money. Then you want to connect based on the job. So guess what? If I have a job, I don't have time, but I might have some money. And then the money aspect, if I have a lot of money, I typically am making that because of the job, but that means I don't have time. And so I truly want you to understand that we have to connect with people. And that's where you get that. Well, how does that make you feel? How long is that going to be your problem? But the reality is this is why it's so important that we create and we share the information with value, because when we're connecting and relating, that is everybody's story. That is one of those is everybody's story. Then, and part of the connection and in my conversation, I must edify. Now, let's talk about edification. Because one, we must edify the industry. Yes, the industry, direct sales is the industry that we're in. Now, one, everybody doesn't have to participate. Some people can just be a customer, but I'm not sharing this with you from a business perspective. I'm sharing a skill set, but I'm still edifying the industry. And when I say that, I want you to understand that the reality is that in this industry that Amazon, yes, I said Amazon actually operates in a direct sales. Are you aware of that? That Amazon uses the direct sales model. Now, how many of us are Prime members? How many of us shop on Amazon? I will click and buy something on Amazon before I get in the car and go to the store. How many of you all do that on a regular basis? How many? Yep, exactly. So the reality is, and look, in Amazon is international, right? Amazon is international. because some of my I do's was not just in the United States. Amazon is international, and yet they operate in the direct sales mentality, the direct sales business model. So you want to edify the industry. So is it one of those things? Absolutely it is. What is one of those things? You want to get people to defend their position, but let's stay talking about the edification. So I also have to edify what we're doing, right? We have to edify what we're doing, and we have to edify our business partners. Now, the word edify simply means build up. We build up. And so whether it's a three-way call, a VIP call, a training call, you want to edify the person that is going to be speaking. You want to edify the movement. You want to make sure that that edification takes place, because there should never be an edification completed in the middle of an introduction. When you're putting me on the phone with someone, you should never do an edification once somebody is already on a VIP call, because that should take place prior to them joining us, because they need to have an expectation of what to expect. They need to have an expectation of what is being shared. They need to have an expectation. And this is what we talk about as far as expectation management. So we want them to know, because you don't want them to miss the call. I have literally done, and I'm gonna tell you how important this is. I've done a three-way where somebody asked me on the line, how is this working out for you? Or what do you think about it? You know, and so I'm wondering, if I am the co-founder of the movement, if I am the creator of the BYOB cash out strategy, this obviously was not articulated to this individual. Because the reality is there has to be an edification, because what that does is allow us to be able to move them to action. So you are building up and creating value through the edification. And you want to make sure we're doing that. Number 3 is promoting. Promote, promote, promote. Now, we have to set goals and expectations for people. So if you've ever heard me do a three-way, or you've ever been on the other side of that, I often tell people when we reconnect that I'm going to, at that moment, allow you, I'm going to walk you through the process, and so you can begin a journey to be in your own bank. I am promoting, and I'm sharing, and I'm setting expectations. This is what I'm doing, but you have to set that. You promote. So we control what comes out of our mouth. We have to promote with urgency, with boldness, with confidence. We control what comes out of our mouth. We control our attitudes. We control the frequency. We control the value creation. And I'm gonna give you an example. Starbucks is the nastiest coffee I've ever tasted, but yet I will still stop there. Starbucks is, you know, I'm a coffee drinker. Starbucks is not that great to me, but it's convenient sometimes. But you have people that will leave their homes. They will leave their homes. They will leave their homes and go get a Starbucks coffee. They will leave their homes where they have a coffee pot. They have it is more cost efficient to make it at home. Will leave their homes and go to Starbucks in order to get a coffee. Okay, that's what they would do. And so when they would do that, that is like, why? You know, and what? Because they promote, they promote, they promote, they promote. So what are you doing? What about, you have people showing up to birthday parties. You have people showing up. Now, I'm going to tell you, when my birthday rolls around, everybody knows. And it's because I promote. So when you have a VIP call, when you have a empowerment call, when you're doing a three-way, when you're doing a summit, when you're doing these things, the reality is you want to make sure that you are promoting with such an urgency and an expectation that this is where you need to be. You know, think about it. When you promote your birthday, what do you bring? The ice, bring the ice, bring the ice, just bring the ice. You want to bring the pen and paper, bring your mindset, bring it. You have to promote. And think about it. When you're promoting, it's urgency. It's urgency. It is boldness. It's confidence. Those are the things that you want to make sure that you're promoting with. And you must promote in that manner. Now, number 4 is fear of loss. This is so very important. Why is that? Because fear of loss, people typically do not move to action. People don't move until they're typically afraid of something. They're afraid to lose something. Fear of loss. How many of you all whether it's been, and not maybe not you personally, but whether it's a health scare or whether it's the holidays, right? School starts and you already start now, it's August. And I'm like, can we at least get to October? You see promoting for holidays, and you also see fear of loss commercials. So you see promoting for holidays, and you see fear of loss commercials. It was back to school and Halloween. It is back to school, whether you participate or not, you see it. It's back to school and Halloween, and it's back to school and Christmas. And then it's Halloween and then Christmas. So that's where the promotions are. Now, or what about Black Friday? Now, all of these things we know are coming up. And why? Because they promoted each and every single year. So we already know what to expect. And then, of course, then that fear of loss, right? That fear of loss is people are now, I know people now that are making those adjustments and beginning to think about and where they are in order to be able to have a quote unquote nice Christmas. So that's that fear of loss. Because why would you budget for Christmas when that's not even a reason behind the season? And so we're not talking about your personal beliefs, but let's just really have this conversation. Why would you budget for that and not for your financial freedom, the legacy shift, the change, to put yourself in a different position? So this is where that fear of loss is. Or what about health? Let's just make it personal, because what is wealth without health, right? So what about your health? So what are we doing health-wise? Because as many people know what we need to do, but we won't do it. And I say we in its totality, but it's we won't do it until you go to the doctor. And now the doctor saying, oh, now you're diabetic. Or, oh, now you're going to have this surgery. Or, oh, now in 10 years, this will be your story. So guess what? People won't take action for 10 years. They'll wait until that's their story. And now they want to try to backdo it. Well, this is where we have to begin to learn that we have to also create that fear of loss in other people. So what does that mean? This movement is expanding. It's global. There are things now that's actually taking place. You know, so we want to help them understand, I will take this opportunity away from you. I don't need you to do anything, but I'm sharing this with you because I love you, but I don't need you to take action. And so when people don't feel chased, then when they don't feel like you're running behind them, they will then turn and move to action. I promise, because that's the psychology of human nature. And we're not here to chase anybody, but we have to create that. But I cannot leave them there because we want a vision talk. We want a vision talk. So we made a decision that we are going to economically impact and empower 2 million families. How many are you going to participate in? How many are you going to free? How many? And understand that there is a power in your yes. So when we sat down, when Mr. Rogers and I sat down, there was a significant vision talk. There was a significant vision talk. And when we talked, when I said within a month, we began speaking that this is the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. And what do you see on that website? 2 million families financially educated and impacted. That was what we discussed in the first month of this movement. That is what we discussed in the first month of this movement. And so to know that it was just him and I, to know that in the beginning, it was just us two, that we really began to have the conversation. And when you look at what has manifested, when you look at what has grown from that, when you look at it, it's because of vision. And you want to vision talk. You want to help people truly understand that. And so now your verbal tools are what's so ultimately important. So the mindset is important. So I cannot speak to you verbally without the proper mindset principles. I cannot speak to you properly without the proper mindset principles, which is why we always start with mindset. This call up until this point is, I don't care if someone just got enrolled, if they are a 1, a 10, which I'm about to explain, everyone needs to hear the power start. Everyone, because even on the charts, even in life, we have to have right mindset. And mindset principles is what creates your culture of success, your mindset. And if you don't have mindset principles, then wherever your mindset is what your results will look like. So that's so very important. And I love that many of us said 5, we have all 5, but I need you to tap into that essence and know that you need all 5. If you want success, it's a non-negotiable. And then we start talking about those verbal tools. And now we talk about the what to do. So now it's the action steps. Now it's the what to do. And so what does that mean for each and every last one of you all? Well, that means that we want to start. That means that we want to start with what we call a power start, right? These are the steps. And I want you to walk with me and make sure you're taking notes, have pen and paper, because at the end I will open for questions, but I want you to truly understand. So first and foremost, you want to create your story. You're going to share and you're going to earn, and all of these happen at the same time. All of these take place and transpire at the same time, not one or the other. So what does that mean? That means that you get enrolled. Now our enrollment is $325. And that is $325 because the reality is that gives you access to everything. That gives you access to all the tools and resources. We are a firm believer that we are not going to set you up for failure. We are a firm believer that we're going to set the expectation and the tone to create a culture of success from the very beginning. And then, of course, you want to make sure you download the app, and you can get the app through the website. You saw the app. So you want to make sure that everyone has that app. And then this is where your journey starts, okay? Your personal journey and anyone that you enroll. You start with the BYOB success steps. Now, the success steps start with a power start, BYOB, the movement. And you notice that our trading steps to success is number 3. And why is this important? I'm going to tell you for 2 reasons. What gets done gets duplicated. And if you've ever seen our presentation, our opportunity overview, what happens is you're going to share something with somebody. You're going to tell them what to do, even if it's just getting on the site to start learning the skill set to get into the academy, right? When you do that, what is the probability of them remembering every step that you gave them? Every step that you gave them, what's the probability? It's 0. They're not going to remember everything you told them to do and what they told you, what you told them to look at and how. I don't care about you walking them through it. It's not going to happen. And so you want to create a duplicatable environment. If you want the success, you want to create an environment that is duplicatable. Because if they forget, but that's how you showed them, then they're going to do the same thing with someone else. How many of you all have walked in a room and forgot what you were looking for and had to walk back out to remember? Or you asked somebody else like they knew what you were thinking. Oh my goodness, what did I come in this room for? What was I looking for? And they're looking at you like, how am I supposed to know? Right? So you want to make sure that you create something, and that's a video tutorial that walks you through. So power start, because it taps into mindset no matter what they want to do. Then even you, BYOB as a movement, truly understanding who we are. And then your trading steps to success. You want to make sure that we have the right apps downloaded. The Zoom, the Telegram, your MetaTrader 4, your Clubhouse, and of course, your BYOB movement app. And you also want to make sure that they're familiar and understand the Kingdom currency. And you want to make sure you get it registered for our summits, Expo/Summit. You want to make sure they're registered. That is where we begin to create a foundation. That is the foundation. Now, it's important because can I build a house on a faulty foundation? If your foundation falls or you don't create a proper foundation, what good is the house? What good is the house that I'm building? What good is the roof that I'm looking at? What good are the granite countertops that we just picked out? What good is all of that? What good is the hardwood floors that we just went and made sure we had enough of? What good is all of that if I have a bad foundation? So your foundation that you create is where your success begins. This is the foundation that you want to make sure that you are operating in, okay? Give me a 555 in the chat if you understand how important that is. 555 in the chat if you understand how important that is. Awesome, awesome. Now we begin to share. Now, this is really where your focus and understanding is going to come in. Because we believe that everyone that we share this information with should take action. But I also want you to know that they're not. So what you have to do is create what we call a list of 100 and you're striving for 5, okay? We'll create a list of 100 people. Now, how many of you all have a list created of 100 names? Drop it in the chat. How many of you all have a list of 100 names? What you're doing is creating your board of directors. You are creating your board of directors. You are looking for 5 individuals like you. So you are the CEO of your business. And I will reference the movie, The Founders. I will reference that again, because McDonald's is a corporation that is global. So that means that the corporation is not responsible for building each individual franchise, but the corporation is responsible for ensuring that every franchise has what it needs to be successful. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what you call a systematic process. And ultimately, that's really how BYOB operates. And what Mr. Rogers mentioned this morning, when he referenced, and I said, don't use me as an example, but the reality is that will outlive us. Because when you think about the McDonald's individuals that actually were the McDonald's brothers, and then Kroc, who was the one who expanded from a systematic process, I want you to understand, they never duplicated. They could never expand, but they understood how to effectively operate within that organization. But they refused to duplicate. They refused to expand because they had to be it. They had to be the deal. They had to be as great as a person as they were. It was about them. And if their hands couldn't touch it, then it would not expand. And I want you to understand, your business cannot operate like that. This movement is going to outlive us. It's going to live past us, because how is it that we have summits in the United Kingdom and in the Netherlands and other countries? How is that actually going to happen? Well, it's happening because it is a systematic process of duplication. And what we do as a movement, the BYOB Corporation, in a sense, is because we do have a BYOB LLC, but in a sense, the reality is we're giving and making sure that there is a foundation that you need to operate your personal franchise. So as a franchise owner, what you're looking for now are your personal 5 individuals. Yes, no matter who shared this with you, no matter where you've joined us from, who are your 5 individuals that is going to be the mastermind for your personal franchise? But the beauty behind it is they need to do the exact same thing. So while we'll have many customers, while we'll expose to many people, and some people won't open a business, some people will, some people won't. But the reality is, you are looking for the 5 that want to open their own franchise. You are looking for the 5 that really want to create a plant and create a shift. That's what you're looking for. And when you do that, and that's your focus, then guess what? Your success falls out. Now, let me help you with focus. I'm gonna help you with focus, because I want you to understand that we have to have these conversations. We're looking for people that want to learn a skill set. We're looking for people who want to multiply their money. So I'm intentional about who I'm looking for. We are going to obviously talk to our flat tire friends, the people we're closely connected to. We always want to make sure we give them the opportunity, and then we sort for success. Successful people understand success. So with that being said, and understanding that, let me help you with focus. Some of you have seen this with me and some of you have not. But right now, I want you to pick up 2 objects, 2 different colors, preferably green and red, but whatever it is, pick it up. So when you pick up these 2 objects, when we talk about focus, if I hold them both in front of me, right? If I hold them both in front of me, spread out just a little bit, I can see them both, but not clearly. Are you with me? And so if you're focused on the ones that do and the ones that don't, the people that want opportunity and the ones that don't, if you're trying to do it at the same time, you have no focus, which means your vision is not clear. We just talked about vision. We talked about your compelling why. But if you're looking at both of them and trying to focus on the ones that do and don't, your vision and your focus is not clear. Right? Are you with me? Do we have 2 objects? Can you see what I'm sharing with you? Now, if I focus on the one object, I have a green pencil in my hand. If I focus on the green object, then guess what? The other object The other pencil, that one fades away. The other object, I can see it, but it's not clear. It's less clear than it was before. Now, if I focus on the other object, the one, the negative, the naysayers, the doubters, then my vision, my compelling why, my desire, me helping individuals that want to be helped, that one will fade away. So you have to make a decision as you are going through your list, what's your focus? And so that's why we cannot get caught up with the ones that don't. I cannot be caught up with the ones that don't want anything for themselves. My responsibility is to share some powerful information with you, some life-changing information. I have to allow you to make your own decision because I have to stay focused. I'm focused. And what happens is you have to not allow the ones that are not focused to pull you off track. You cannot allow that. Now, as we go through this, do not allow your minimum to be your maximum. Do not allow your minimum to be your maximum. So what does that mean? Minimum being your maximum. Your minimum is 5 contacts a day. How fast or slow you obtain the results that you desire is completely up to you. And that's, you heard him ask, are you in business? Were you in business this week? If you didn't talk to anybody, you were not in business. If you did not have a conversation, you cannot expect a return on investment. So that is going to be your expected outcome. Remember, you are the CEO of your business. And so how do we become effective? How do we make sure and understand it is going to manifest? Well, quite simple. 1, you are going to conduct a personal VIP call. Now, trust me, I do understand that on Tuesdays at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, that our visionary conducts a VIP call. On Sunday at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 GMT and 8:30 or 19:30 CET, then that is actually when we're going to have an economic empowerment call. So that is what those calls are. They're standing, they happen. The Sunday one just does not happen on summit weekends, depending on the travel schedule. But that is something that you know that's there. But in addition to that, whenever you get enrolled, you want to make sure that there is a personal VIP. And so some of you all have been understanding that we've been doing a blitzes and launches because we are launching the Netherlands this month, their first summit. And so there's a push, and this is where you begin to establish the momentum in your business, is through these VIP calls. Then you want to make sure that you're inviting. Yes, you must invite. And this is where we have to understand the numbers and basically what I was talking about, your focus, because this is the psychology of people. I don't care what you do. Now, remember, everybody, as you understand this, everybody buys something, everybody buys, but nobody wants to be sold. And I'll go into a lot more detail as I'm sharing the bottom part of this paper. So what does that mean? That you're going to invite. The more you expect results. If you only invite 2, then guess what? Then 0, do anything. Because invite a minimum of 40. Our list is 100. 5 people, 5 people, 5 people. But I'm going to invite a minimum. 5 people. But I invite 40, not 5. I invite 40. What happens is 20 confirmed, 10 show up. 20 confirmed, 10 show up. So understand that that is just the natural process. When I was the U.S. Army recruiting commander, when I was a financial advisor, actively working, creating financial plans, as a matter of fact, for that, and you think everybody wants a financial plan. For that, guess what? My list was 200 individuals. They made us create a list of 200 individuals to begin creating our book of business. So understand that this is just a natural process. And then you want to make sure you stay in control, right? You have to stay in control of the process. So that means schedule a meeting, and that'll make more sense to you in just a moment. And then, of course, you want to commit. That's a 12-month commitment to birthing your business, a 12-month commitment, which we already talked about commitment. And so that commitment is to you. It's not to me. It's not to Mr. Rogers. It's to you. You want to make that commitment. So now, ladies and gentlemen, what are the results? And we have individuals that are actually on this line that's actually happened for. What are these results? First, you're going to enroll a customer. Second, You will then at 3 customers, you turn your IBO on, which is where you start getting paid. And so you are officially a CEO. And then you want to focus on Platinum 600, which is why in our business development tools on our app, we have 12 boxes for you to, where you have helped 12 families. So it's 12 families lives, 12 families. And the focus is Platinum 600 because we focus on production and not position. It's production and not position. But 600 is obtainable to anybody. And what I can also do is once I do it, I can do it again. And then I can also assist someone else in making sure that they also are registered, that they can do the same thing. All right. We want to make sure that we're paying it forward. And so this is how we do that. I help my 5 do the exact same thing while I'm doing it again as well. And this is what creates that momentum in your business. Now, what happens then? Understand that now we're going to begin to tap into the activity of your success. So what does that look like for you? What does that mean? Well, what that means is you want to make sure that you're registered for the summits. You want to make sure that you're attending the training calls. Do you hear me? I'm going to say that again. You're attending the training calls. Trust me, all of us have a schedule. All of us have a process. But if I want to get a job, and I'm going to keep referencing a job, if I want to get a job, is their schedule negotiable or does mine have to be? My schedule is now the one that's negotiable. I make the adjustments for the job that I created or the job that I applied for. I make the adjustment. They give me the hours that I'm going to work. And so I want you to understand that that's what we're doing. We're giving you the schedule. Now, because we know you have to do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do, then you have to show up for that place of employment. So if you're not at work, we need to be on a call. And I am going to plug this right now because I want you to understand the last one, which means commit to the success in your training. I can count on one hand over the last 8 months or so. I can count on one hand and not all my fingers. I'm going to use Ms. Graham, for example, the one that has already launched the United Kingdom. And I'm using her as an example because the reality is every place we've launched, myself or Mr. Rogers has showed up, but yet we did not go to the United Kingdom. So not only did she launch in the United Kingdom with these summits that have been consistent and continuous and growing, not only did that take place and manifest with her and her husband, Mr. and Mrs. Graham, what also happened is she does not miss a call. She has not missed a call. No matter what is going on, she shows up. And what do I mean by that? That even when we have our 9 p.m. Eastern Standard call, and it is in the early wee hours of the morning in the United Kingdom, she's there. And also I'm starting to see that duplicate because I've also seen Miss 𝐤𝐨𝐿𝐤 𝐾 out of the Netherlands, who you can add an additional hour to that. She's starting to show up for different calls. She's starting to show up. And I know, you know, even though her work schedule has dwindled down, because of the skill set development, what I also know is that she, on some of those days, she still has to get up in the morning. So she's almost completely free, but I can salute because she went from 3 jobs to now only working 3 days a week. So there is progress that's actually taking place. But I share that with you to understand that what gets done gets duplicated. What you expect of someone else is going to happen, but they also operate no excuses, none. There is no excuse because I know at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd rather be asleep. That's everybody testimony. 5 o'clock in the morning when we have our Eastern Standard call. So you have to show up and commit to training. And then you want to be a reader. You do. You want to be a reader. So here we are. We want to think and grow rich. Mindset, mindset, mindset. You have to read this book continuously. Then these are our foundation books. These are not the only books that you read, but these are our foundation books. So we have to think it, how to win friends and influence people. We have to speak it. We think it, we speak it. Didn't we start there today? Success on God's terms. This is co-authored by our visionary. So on this call, what this is understanding that we can have success And the kingdom of God is still the foundation of how we do things. Cash flow quadrant. You have to understand how to move and shift from one quadrant to the other. Your first year network marketing, it's a must read. It's a must read. This one is going to help you understand the flow of money. This one is going to help you understand. This is the foundation and the basis of your work, your CEO-ship in this industry. You want to read and understand that. And then the last book, Be Your Own Bank, Hidden in Plain Sight, that's the book that we co-authored, but that's also to assist in removing financial blinders, okay? And so you want to make sure that you do so. And then, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about our action steps, because it under no circumstances, and this is what I meant when I said up here, well, we're going to stay in control. Under no circumstances are we sharing this information well, we're making comments about Forex, or we're making comments about, hey, I got this business opportunity for you, or we're making any of those comments. We are creating value. And so I want you to truly understand that you're still going to have a conversation the way that you have a conversation, but you have to utilize certain verbiage. So I want you to follow the script, but not be scripted is what I mean. If the way I talk to you is still how I need to talk to you, but I also have to set that tone and expectation that I want to have a conversation with you. And also I want to emphasize as I begin to go through this, that you have to create an urgency. There has to be an urgency, because remember, the person on the other side, they don't know. They don't know. They don't know anything but what you're sharing with them. But there has to be an urgency. Your bill collectors create an urgency. Your bill is due. The bill is due. Your bill is due in 5 days. Your bill is due tomorrow. Your bill is due today. Your bill was due yesterday. Excuse me, why haven't you paid this bill? You know, so they create an urgency. And so whether you pay the bill or not, guess what? Guess what? That's they don't care, but they're going to create the urgency. So when you're talking, this is why those mindset principles, because it's not what I'm about to share with you. It's not what you're saying. It's you. It is you. People, they feel what you say. They don't hear what you say. But even with them, you walking them through, you have to make sure you're doing it with value creation and making it about them. Remember, this is not about us. You know, I literally, you know, got a text, you know, from, I'm gonna tell you just how significant this is. So here I am. I've been looking at a new car. And I haven't purchased yet, but I've been looking at one. And so in looking at the car, what happened is the guy, he follows up. Now where he messed up, everything is about what you need. Everything was about all of that, about what I need. You know, what am I looking for? Can I assist you? Everything was about me. I'm the one that has to buy the car. But he sent me a message that said, we're about to have our end of year closeout and I need help getting my bonus. My manager said something about the bonus. And I know it's what they told them to send out. And now this is a reputable company, you know, because I want a particular car. And so what they said, you know, I got it from both dealerships because they got two here in Jacksonville. And so when they sent that, I was like, well, I'll buy it from Carvana before I buy it from you. I'll go get it online before I get it from you. Now, why is that? Because he just trying to make a sale, which means that when we sit down and negotiate the numbers or however I want to do it, it's not going to be about me. It's going to be about his bottom line. And I'm not doing business with you with your bottom line. So I know you're there to make money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not crazy. I understand that there is a bottom line. But if that's your focus, remember the two objects that we held up? If that's your focus, then that's a problem. So, and I think Mr. Rogers said it best this morning, that money is not the goal. Your bottom line is never the goal. You, just like me, being the creator of a strategy or being known worldwide, that was never my goal. That was never my focus. It's a side effect of your focus and your heart being in the right position. So let's talk about our steps. First and foremost, we're going to make sure we stay in control of the process. You must stay in complete and absolute control, right? So have you ever considered, I'm calling you, I'm speaking to you. Have you ever considered what it would feel like to put you and your family on the other side of money? allow them to answer. Now, once again, that can also be if it's somebody I know for a fact that, you know, I know they've been looking for things, or we were looking for something, I can reach out to you and say something to that effect as well. Hey, you're on my mind. I want to have a conversation with you. I want to talk to you because remember when we used to discuss, remember when we used to talk about. So that means I already know that you've considered it because we've talked about it. So but you have to connect. Hey, such and such, how are you doing? I'm a connect, but I'm not going to spend 30 minutes having a conversation because you don't want that person to feel sideswiped. I'm going to be very direct and upfront. Hey, such and such, I'm giving you a call because I want to have a conversation with you. Remember when we used to discuss this and this and that, or what we used to talk about when we used to discuss financial freedom? Remember when we were in the military and they did the furloughs? Remember when we had a conversation? Remember when you were on my mind because we used to talk about? And if that's not the case, hey, have you ever considered what it would feel like to put you and your family on the other side of money? Great. Let me ask you a question. Over the last 5 to 10 years, out of all the money that's flowed through your personal bank account, how much has your bank paid you for using your own money? That's creating an emotion. That is creating an emotion. So how does that make you feel? If there was a way to learn a skill set that would teach you how to multiply your money the same way the banks do, would you take advantage of it? Yes or no? And so you want, in that moment right there, okay, right there, if they say no, fantastic. You know what? So you said no, so obviously this is not for you. You said no, so great, this is not for you. Fantastic. But if they say yes, then you take them through, because I'm not dragging anybody through this process. And this is what we have to remember, that everybody's not walking through it. Your closing ratio, before you've increased your closing ratio is 10, 6, 3, 1. That means you expose 10 people, you have a conversation, 6 will go, only 6 are gonna move from here, right? 6 people, 3 will get through all of this, and only 1 will make a decision to do something. Now, granted, as the more conversations you have, that will shrink it. But should be your expectation. And I don't need you concerned with the 9 that won't go, because that's where we get lost and stuck. You have to stay focused on your compelling why and what you're here for and your impact that you want to have with other people. So in that moment, great. What's going to happen now? I'm not asking if you mind, if you will, if you should, if you think. I'm telling you, because we are accustomed to being told what to do. Nobody wants to be told what to do, but it's our life. Everybody from the time we were a child has, hey, come on, come over here. With my granddaughter yesterday. No, get over here. What are you doing? Nope, come over here. Go do this. Nope, guess what? It's time to eat. No snack, right? We're told what to do when you're at school. No, it's not bathroom time. Kids are now being trained on when they eat lunch. They can't just go in the kitchen all day, and when they can have a bathroom break. When do you get recess? On your job, they tell you what time to be there. They tell you what time you can go home. They tell you what time you can take a break. They tell you how long your lunch is. So people are accustomed to being told what to do. Don't deviate from that now because you don't want to feel pushy. What has to happen? Hey, guess what? This is what we're going to do. I am going to add you into our community, and I'm going to add you into our community. So what I need you to do is download these 2 apps. Go ahead and download these apps. And because I want to plug you into our community with individuals that's made that same decision that you just did. That's a soft close because they said yes. So go ahead and download these apps. Okay, great. You have them. So I want you to go to About BYOB on the app. Well, first, I'm going to plug you in a Telegram. And I want you to go to About BYOB. And when I see the About BYOB, and I want you to click on Opportunities and Testimonies, or use the website that we're on right now. So you can use either one. I need you to go look at this website. So at About BYOB, I want you to click Opportunities and Testimonies. Now at Opportunities and Testimonies, that first video is a 2-minute video. I want you to scroll through there. And as you scroll through, also scroll down on the page, what you will see is you'll see photos of individuals that has also made this decision, some very powerful people. And then, from all different walks of life. And then you'll see a few testimonies. What that's doing is creating a belief for them. This is creating a belief. People don't buy their first look. I need you all to understand that. So if their first look is a summit, if their first look is a VIP call, if their first look is an economic empowerment call, guess what? They're not going to buy. That is when you get your objections, your, oh, let me go pray about it. Oh, this is a sales pitch. Oh, this is this. Oh, this is that. Oh, I need to go talk to my spouse. Oh. That's where you get all those ohs, because there was no value created for them. I just share with you, I know I want a car. I went to the car lot. I test drove it. I know I want a car. But because of what that message he sent, he will not be my salesperson. I want you to understand that they didn't know that there was an opportunity or a way. I know that, right? I know that. But the reality is there has to be a value creation created, because if they feel under any circumstances that it's about you, or you just trying to quote unquote get them to do something, the reality is you're going to lose the majority of the people that you share this with. It must be about them, and value must be created. And then you will never have an objection about the investment, because people spend money on what they want to spend money on. They do. And so you want to add them to the app. I'm going to tell you to take a look at that. I'm also going to tell you what the 777s mean in the Telegram. The 777s mean in the Telegram. 777 means somebody cashed out. Don't let them ask you. Tell them so they know. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to give you a call back in 20 minutes. I'm going to give you a call back in 30 minutes. I'm going to call you back urgency. If today is Sunday, I'm not calling you back on Friday. That means that, oh, you don't have time till Friday. Guess what? This might not be the opportunity for you. It might not be the opportunity for you. And trust me, because what will happen is if you don't stay focused, the commentary I typically get is very common. The feedback I get is, oh, these people don't want anything. Those people, guess what? Those people travel. I want their frequent flyer miles, because if I'm having a conversation with Jacksonville, if I'm having a conversation in Detroit, if I'm having a conversation in the Netherlands, if I'm having a conversation in the United Kingdom, no matter where I have this conversation, in Cleveland, those people are always there. And I need you not to focus on those people, because those people are everywhere. These people show up. But what are you focused on? I even had these people in Jamaica. They're everywhere. But guess what? You have also, if they're everywhere, but where are you? You're there too. So if you want something more, why don't you think it's more people like you? But if you focus on these people that don't, that's the only thing you're going to manifest, because that's the energy and what you're going to create and attract. So if your closing ratio is 10-1, all the way down to 1, then that's 9 of these people. So what are you focused on? This is where that compelling why, that burning desire, and all of those things that have to kick in. This is where you know if you're going to light the fire inside of you, or you're just going to walk away. Because if success was that easy, or if success was that convenient, then everybody will have it. You have to make a decision that you're worth it. And so you just want to walk them through. So now I call you back in 30 minutes. I call you back. And I'm going to ask a question, and I want you to hear me clearly. And some of you all have heard me say, when people don't give me a number, no, what's your number? And I always ask it again after they have the power start, because sometimes people didn't understand. So first and foremost, I'm going to ask you what you liked most. I don't want your opinion. I don't care about your opinion. I'm being very direct. I don't care. Because the reality is you don't have enough information. Your opinion not going to sway me. Your opinion cannot move me. Your opinion is not what I'm looking for. You want to ask questions that give you the direct answer that you want. So what did you like most? What intrigued you the most? What did you like most? What intrigued you the most? That's what you want. Because I want to control how the conversation is going to flow. And if they didn't like anything, fantastic. God bless you. You have a wonderful day. Because you didn't like it, you didn't like it. I'm okay. You just one of these people. However, what intrigued you the most? Because you don't want to create an environment where people's minds start wondering and they start saying, oh, well, it seemed like it's fun, but you don't want to allow the excuse. That's a disease, but excuse-itis always begins with but. Anytime you say but, it's an excuse. Anytime you say but, it's an excuse. So we do not want to operate in excuse-itis. We're cured from that disease. So now, based on what you just saw on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your number? How would you rate yourself? 10 meaning And you guys drop your number in the chat too. So great. What'd you like most? Awesome. So based on what you just saw on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning you are ready to accept the challenge to be your own bank and build a business. And 1 meaning you're ready to accept the challenge to be your own bank. What's your number? Understand that 1 through 10 means you want both. A 1 means that they are committing to enrolling to be a customer, to learn the skill set. So what's your number? Drop it in the chat. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So great. This is where you get out of the way. And if you are not doing 3 ways, if you are not putting people in front of the information, someone else, then you are doing a disservice to your business, because people know you how they know you. You all know me as a trade whisperer. You all know me as the creator of the BYOB cash out strategy. You all know me as the co-founder of the movement, but they know me as Tasha. They know me as Major Dyer. That's how they know me. So they don't know me like this. So guess what? I still remove myself and get Mr. Rogers on the line. I am not the expert. And if I'm not, so this is what's duplicatable and systematic. You're not the expert. So you want to make sure, so great. Now you're a 1 through 6, just get them on a training call. Let them know what they're going to experience. Put them on a training call, and it's always the next call. It is. So that means that a 1 through 6, a 1 especially, a one, they don't care about business. They don't care about exposing. They don't care about any of that. Let them be great and learn this skill set. We're not here to convince anybody to do anything they don't want to do. We're here to assist the ones that want to do it. So let them be great. And then a 10, a 7 through 10, that's an immediate 3-way. That's an immediate 3-way. If you are not connecting, if you're not doing 3 ways, you're hurting your business. All right. So you have to do those. And then you want to also make sure that you're doing these economic empowerment calls, and you still want to remember the numbers. You have to remember the numbers, the numbers, the numbers, the numbers. So if you invite 4, then 2 confirm and 1 show up. And what's half of 1? 0. So you're flipping a coin if they enroll or not. So 40, you invite, 20 confirm, 10 show up, and you'll have 3 to 5 business partners. So understand it's all in the numbers. And ladies and gentlemen, I get excited because as we get ready to close out on here today, I get excited because I want you to see, when you're talking about summit registration and when you're talking about what's taking place, all of you all should be following this site. But when you look at it and you see what's actually manifesting, obviously we have past events, but all of you all need to go get registered. All of you all need to make sure that this is there. You want to make sure that, you definitely are registered and ready to go and show up, because we have 7 events. So it's 1 summit, but it's in 7 locations. And I'm excited about that. So also, where do you bring people? Because I do want you to understand success on the back end really quickly. Give me 1 more minute, because it does not stop after the enrollment. And so I do want to help you understand that after you get somebody enrolled, this was opportunity and testimonies that we just talked about, and I asked you to look up. So these are the opportunities and testimonies that individuals would have gone to. And what I want you all to be able to see is that I want you to see, why is this important? Because you see individuals from all different walks of life, right? You see individuals from everywhere, and then you start seeing success. You start seeing success stories. You start seeing, just individuals from globally around the world, many different stories of success, right? Just many different people that are speaking and the power behind that. But then you want to understand the success steps, and this includes you all, okay? And I want to come to my BYOB success steps, because once we get enrolled, once someone does get enrolled, their training begins then. And this is where we want to take them. So we want to go to the power start your mindset in your business. This is step 1 that was referenced on that 1-pager. And then BYOB the movement, and then your trading steps to success. So this is where it ultimately begins. And this is where your success lies. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been your power start. This has been how you effectively duplicate the process. And this is the system, the very systematic process. So once again, BYOB as a corporation, BYOB as a movement, this is the foundation, and we are going to always position you to be in where you can facilitate and you can have the ultimate success that you desire. You know, one thing we do not believe, I've heard it several times, is I've heard ignorance on fire. Absolutely no way. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I'm saying that, you know, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You need to be on fire, but you also need to be intentional. You need to be very, very intentional. When I take my child to school to begin her education, we're intentional about that. When you show up to work for the first day, you're intentional. So now you've made a decision to be your own boss, to be your own bank, to be in business. You have your own business, be your own business. You've made a decision to BYOB it. And you want to be very intentional about your success. And when you're intentional, you'll get the results that you desire. So